Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you guys how to get my goddess faux locks, my favorite natural projective style ever. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Canaclon hair. It doesn't matter what hair color you get because you're going to be covering it up with the Marley hair. That's the hair I use, right there. 3 bundles in 1 pack for $5, pretty nice. And I'm going to take like the width of my finger amount size hair to start off the braid, and I'm just straightening it out, and that's where I'm going to cut it because I don't want it to be that long. So yeah, I'm just showing you guys where I cut it, and this is me cutting it right now, and that's the length that it is. It looks short, but trust me, it'll be long when you add the curly hair to the end to make it goddess locks. Right now I'm making sure the ends are tapered so it's not just a blunt cut, and it makes it much easier at the end. You'll thank me later. So right here I'm just showing you how big my part is. Of course that's subjective, but that's how big I like my locks to be. And I'm just making sure my finger is in the middle of the hair. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to try to explain how to do it. So you put your actual hair between the 2 parts of the Canaclon hair. So they're wrapped around my natural hair, that one section, making 3 sections, right. Okay, so now that you have 3 strands, 2 of your Canaclon hair and 1 from your actual hair, you're going to want to take your first section of your Canaclon hair and put it underneath the second section, as you see right there. Then you're going to take your hair and put it underneath that section you just put underneath the section you didn't touch, if that makes sense. So just underneath basically is what I'm saying. The way I braid, I just braid each strand underneath the other instead of over, but it doesn't matter obviously. And the strand you didn't touch, put it underneath your natural hair, and you just keep going under and under until you get a braid, as you can see I'm doing right now in the fast motion stuff. Yep. Almost done, and we're done. Okay, so now we're gonna take the curly hair that makes this whole style goddess locks, the curly ends, as you can see. So I chose red and brown, but in this video I'm gonna show you the red strand. So taking one strand, they're separated into strands, so it's much easier, but I'm gonna cut this in half to make more hair for myself, if that makes sense, because I don't need it to be that long. So I cut it in half, and as you can see, it's just as long as I want it. You're going to want to do the same thing. Since we're adding it to the braid, you're going to want to fold it kind of in half, but I don't fold it in half because the blunt end on the left will be raggedy. So you put it to the middle, put it on your braid, take the strand and put it underneath your natural hair part with the Canaclon hair, put it underneath. You're just doing the same thing, underneath. You're just adding it to the braid. Once again, this braid does not have to be pretty because everything is going to be covered with the Marley hair. When you get to wrapping the braid with the Marley hair, that's when it actually matters. As you can see, I finished, and now the last step of 3, we're gonna put the Marley hair over it, and this is the fun and frustrating part, but this is the part that actually matters because this is the outside of your dread. So just like the curly hair, the Marley hair is separated into chunks, so just take one chunk and separate it to make it frizzier, to make the wrapping process much easier. What you also want to do is stretch the hair to make it even more frizzier and longer, just to prolong how long you're going to use that strand of hair. So what I do is make a circle, so I don't just start off with the tapered end on my roots, because when you wrap your roots, you're going to want to wrap it at least 5 times, at least, to make it tight and to make sure it doesn't look thin. Make sure it complements all the rest of the thread that's going to be pretty large. So make sure you wrap it at least 5 times, at least. And folding the hair like I did at the beginning of the clip makes the root much thicker, so even though you still have to wrap it at least 5 times, it makes it much easier. So as you can see, I'm just wrapping it. This is very, very self-explanatory. Just wrap it to make sure you cover all the braided hair, especially if you messed up on the braid. You don't want any messed up braids peeking through. Cover it, and stretching the hair like I did and separating it really helps separate the Marley hair to make sure it covers every little nook and cranny of your hair. So make sure you do that step. So as you can see, I'm wrapping the last little strands of Marley hair onto the curly hair to make sure it's tapered and make sure it's not such a blunt transition from the Marley hair to the curly hair. And then you're going to take your nail glue and drip that on the ends of the hair so it stays. And I recommend getting the drip nail glue instead of the brush because it's much easier. As you can see, you just put a couple drips and you're done. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. This is the finished product. I personally like them when they're a little bit more frizzy. I'm probably gonna sleep without like a hair cap or anything. And they're pretty, you gotta get used to them. I mean, they're not uncomfortable. It's just, especially if you do them very tight, like any hairstyle is gonna be a little uncomfortable for a while. Not a while, but you gotta get used to it. So, and they'll loosen up. Like I said, I like them looser. So I'm not gonna take as good of care of them as I should purposely, but when I get them to the desired messiness I want, then I'll start taking care of them so that they can last as long as they can. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section and I'll answer all of them. And I don't care about clean parts because who's gonna look at my parts? Who is that close to me? Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and found this helpful. And like, comment, share, subscribe.